I'm Simon Akindes, and I teach at the University of Wisconsin Parkside. I'm originally from Benin in West Africa, and I teach in education, but I have a background in political science, in literature, and many other things are really of interest to me. And when I have an opportunity, I do get into those things. I always come to this conference about sports in Africa, for many reasons. My brother organizes it with the help of so many of you. Thank you. And then also because I've been involved myself in sports for a long time. Actually, maybe it's a family affair, because out of 5 siblings, there were 4 in sports. Girard was one of them, captain of the basketball team of Benin. I was in the national team in soccer, and I have a sister who unfortunately passed away last year, but who had been in the basketball and handball team of the country and has traveled so much, and another one who played basketball and did athletics too. Only one sister, I don't know what happened to her, decided not to be part of it. But that's been the way we grew up, with sports and so on and so forth. So that's the second reason. And then the third reason is that now that I'm more of a spectator than somebody on the field, I watch games and I follow the movements, and then I understand a little bit more sports now than I used to, because in the past, of course, we were more busy about winning games. We were more busy about just being there, participating and having friends, having fun. But now when I look at the movement of people, the movement of capital, how money is shifted around the world, and how we can understand a little bit what the whole thing is about just by looking at sports. So this time it was about sports and globalization, politics, and I've always been interested in South Africa, and recently I saw the movie Invictus. I said, well, there is a big connection here with Invictus, or between Invictus, Mandela, global fabrication of heroes. All right, so I decided that I was going to write, to make a presentation about the movie. And in December, when almost just before the movie was released, there was Dennis Brutus, who died. And he had been involved as a poet. He has been involved as an artist, in fighting sports. His poetry is not usually about sports, but his political activism was about sports. And he was very successful at keeping South Africa out of, the world stage when it came to sports, because of apartheid and because of, racial discrimination and segregation. But at the same time, sports was a contested area between those who wanted to use sports to promote an image of the country. It was part of the cultural diplomacy in South Africa, and they wanted to use it to promote an image that did not correspond to what was happening on the ground. And then on the other side, you have Dennis Brutus, who was trying to bring, the reality to the people, and at the same time fight for the advent of a civilized nation. So that was very interesting to me, and the connection between art and sports, poetry. I like poetry, and I got to know Dennis Brutus in my early 20s, when I was studying literature, and when I read his poems. I remember buying some of those books in Nigeria, because in Benin, which is a French-speaking country, we didn't have access to that. So I like poetry, and I like the beauty of it. So my presentation, it's about the beauty of poems, and at the same time, the beauty of the gesture, the movement in sports. And that's, as a spectator now, that's what I'm more interested in. When I get there, it is not for a nation. It is not for dollars, because I don't have any shares in any company, So I go to the stadium to enjoy the game, to enjoy the beauty of it. So there's beauty in art, there is beauty in poetry, There's beauty in the collective movement of a team. There's beauty in the individual effort. There is beauty in, the kind of satisfaction that we get from seeing something that is exceptionally, gorgeous. And then I think that has to be replaced into sports, apart from the winning thing and all that stuff, identity and things like that. So my presentation is mainly about that, but it is also about the fact that now Clint Eastwood, having made this movie, has put Mandela on a stage in another way. But Mandela is untouchable. Mandela is somebody you cannot go against, all right? He's been sheltered for 27 years. He came out, did what he had to do, very conscious of his image and his legacy. He cannot be touched, all right? But at the same time, when you watch the movie, what you think is that all the struggle, that Mandela had been involved in, the struggles, the battles, the fights that his people, have conducted in his own name and also in their own names, they are missing from the movie. The movie focuses so much on Mandela, and his move to reconcile a country that had been divided for so long. But the movie doesn't talk about what divided the country. The movie doesn't say much about all the laws and things like that. It's a very a historical movie. We do see, the result, the segregation, the black sections and the white sections, and then how, the discrepancy and things like that. So just like as it happened with Che and some of those global leaders that are fabricated by the media, they remove, the essence of their heroism, to just brand an image. So, and I think that it may not happen with Mandela, but it is unfortunate that this is happening. And some of the heroes, some of the global heroes like Dennis Brutus, do not even have the opportunity to get to that stage and be known for what they did for so long and so consistently over the decades. So that's a little bit of what I'm talking about at this conference.